I'm the scat man. Yo, do, do, do. Slimmy, limmy, yo, do, do, do. Yo, do, do, ba, 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 bee, ba, 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 do. Ba, 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 do. Wee, ba, 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 ba. Happy Friday. Welcome to NHL Puck Props presented by Bet99. Solo show today. Carlo taking the day off. Kind of like that. Toronto goalkeeping. More injuries on the Toronto front. And the sad thing is, we won't know anything about any of those injuries. And it's starting to get really frustrating as Leaf fans when people are getting injured. Nothing will be told to us to the extent of the injuries. Right now, Joseph Woll, Anthony Stolarz is out. Dennis Hildeby is the man in charge of getting the Leafs, who I think are currently 14th in the Eastern Conference, but just 3 points out of the 8th spot in the conference. Good to see everybody there in the chat. Trying to go over the messages. Hit that like button if you're just joining us now. Subscribe if you haven't already. We got to be pumping some gas. Good on the money lines last night. Bad on the team totals. Couldn't get the Chicago one. 2-0 going into the third. Finishes 2-1. Had the over 2.5 at plus money. That didn't go through. Minnesota can't hold things down. That offense is a clunker. The only good thing out of that is that it was a Gustafsson start. Maybe they start giving more starts to the rookie in Wallstead, because that 3-1 loss to Calgary, maybe it was 4-1. I don't know if the empty netter went. Super Wee says, I love money lines. So do I. So do I. And it's interesting to see. Great slate today. Five games, 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock, I think 7:30, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect Friday run. I'm off today. We're going to hit this show. I got some football, but after that, I'm out with the family. Kids are out of school for the day, taking the wife out for her birthday out to Blue Mountain. So we'll see how that goes later today, as Dad will be trying to look at some lines. Crack and stink. Happy birthday, Debbie. Appreciate it. Birthday's tomorrow. So I need a Debbie Friday parlay to pay for everything. Hopefully try to pay for everything. That's the move today. And it will probably be something like this. And producer Mick can put up this ticket. This was just a lob shot that I hit yesterday. The Bet99 bet slip there. Second lines in the Detroit game. Both those second line stacks hit. And then second lines in the top line in Seattle in the shootout in Seattle, Edmonton. And I thought I had it, and then I looked, and I had Leon Draisaitl for an assist, and my heart stopped, and I'm like, oh, dang. But he already had it. So it wasn't that big. So a good ticket there, and just show you that, like, I mean, that's not a good way to bet. It isn't. But if you're taking shots, that's not a bad way to run up an odds. 220 odds. That's for the double triple. We'll take that, and that will clean up the losses that I had in November, because it was a crappy month. I know lots of people had crappy months on the ice last month. So let's kind of turn it around. But I do really like this slate. I know this is kind of like a prime slate for like every game over 5. I think that's 11-1 over at Bet99. Every game over 1.5 in the first period. I think that's 15-1 over at Bet99. Because you got teams like Buffalo, Winnipeg, not great. Vegas and New Jersey, who knows what you could get. That could be a track meet. San Jose's playing bad. Maybe San Jose needs to do some scoring there to get that over across the board, though. Utah coming off a big game. Vancouver's first team in hockey, I think. Washington, Anaheim coming off an absolutely beat down. And Washington continues to be undervalued, I feel. Buffalo, Winnipeg, let's start things there. Chromeostasis says I try to get in there. High school basketball. Way to coach high school basketball and not look like you're trying to get all the bets in at the same time. I was at the school kids Winterfest yesterday, trying to squeeze in and trying to find some line combos there at 6:30. And as always, make sure you have a trusted source for your line information. I was looking at another place yesterday that had Val Nichushkin on that second line in Colorado. Guess what? He wasn't. If no information is better than fake information. That's what I say.
So let's get it rolling. Buffalo, Winnipeg minus 140 at home. It's a flip-flop between how you're going to price either of these teams. Let's go Tage Thompson and Josh Norris for a point, plus 175. Top points per game, last 30. Ottawa is Norris, Thompson, Tucker. And the big issue with Winnipeg, outside of not having Hellebuck, and they're 2-6 straight up, 31st in point percentage, 1-6 straight up in their last 7, is the secondary scoring from Winnipeg that just doesn't exist right now. Since Hellebuck's gone out, that top line of Scheifele, Connor, as I'm trying to think in my head, and Velarde have accounted for 50% of the team's goals. We haven't seen much from the secondary scoring. I think the power play is also struggling, 2 for 18 over the last 5 or 6 games there. But Buffalo, on the other hand, is the most flip-flop team in all of hockey. Like they score 5, they score 4, they get shut out. Like they're such a tough team to read. And on the road, this is one of the worst road teams in hockey. 2-7-2 on the season, second worst offense at 2.55 goals per game, and a league worst 4.27 goals against. So something has to give between these two inconsistent teams. And this is kind of me hoping two bad teams not playing good hockey, or Buffalo not playing good hockey on the road, that this one just kind of opens up. So hopefully we can get that one. Not adding Benson in there. You can add Benson. Benson pushes this to plus 375. But I'm just scared of this Buffalo offense drying up when you finally think, hey, let's go. And then it's a no-show from this team. And yes, JPC4, absolutely, that's another great point. And I put it out on a tweet earlier because if you go over to Daily Faceoff and you go to the source and you go check out that source for the line, and it was the practice before their last game, you got to make sure you know what you're looking at. So Lindy Ruff will absolutely probably be moving some lines today. But I think Thompson and Norris, if I have to put things out, and I kind of put myself in a time frame here, that doing the show at 10 o'clock, that I think that's the safe one. Power play, one correlated. They've looked great. Benson could absolutely move, so there could be some line juggling in Buffalo. And I'll probably be looking at those other lines as well. Doan and Tuck are a nice pair. Third line, I think they're correlated as well. Doan, I think, is power play 1 and Tuck's power play 2. But I do like that, so we'll see. And what I've been doing, if I'm putting those line combos together, and there's like those stray line 3 correlated guys that are offering points like Doan and Tuck, I'll put that one together. Plus, maybe if there's another one on the other side, like something like Nemestikov and Taves together, and I'll put those two together, like a double really high-end stack, and those can get up to like 13, 14 to 1. I don't mind those ones, and that's kind of how I've been dealing with those. Well, those guys are a line stack. Should I play him solo? Nah, let's take a shot and go big with them. So just the one play there on the books. Obviously, I'll have a lot more on my own account. But that one for sure, I think that's a smart play even at this time. New Jersey hosting the Golden Knights, and the Golden Knights roll in minus 125. Road favorites, over under sitting at 6. And we go on that top line, power play 2 correlated, Bowman, Barbashev point each, plus 250. The Bowman price just keeps hopping up all over the place. Minus 110 when he was on that power play. Then it jumped up to like plus 160 the other day. Then it went back down to plus 110. And I think today it's settling around plus 145. And I think that's still way too much for a top line that played the most minutes last game. And I think there is some inconsistency with the Stone Marner line, with the Hurdle Dorofeev line. It's the Eichel line with these two, I think, is playing the best 5-on-5 game. And New Jersey, we don't know what we're getting out of New Jersey. They're coming off that shutout loss to Dallas. I think it was versus Jake Ottinger on the second of a back-to-back. So tough spot there. But this is also a team, much like Winnipeg, that now that they've lost their best guy, are just playing god-awful hockey. New Jersey coming off that 3-0 blanking by Dallas as I read my script. They've dropped 3 straight. They're 28th in point percentage since Jack Hughes went out, 4-6 straight up. The 6th worst scoring offense at 2.4 goals per game over that stretch. Jake Allen is probably likely, after Jacob Markstrom started that last game. He's been wildly inconsistent too. 5 goals against in his last one. Shutout in the game before that. 6 goals allowed in that previous one. 1 goal in the previous one before that. It's interesting to see what kind of goaltending they get. And this is another game that could be 3-0, but could also be 6-5. So I think I'm going to stay on that Bowman Barbashev line. I think Bowman's still wildly mispriced, not wildly, but I think he should be like kind of in that Jamie Benn price of minus 105, and right now he's plus 145. So do like Vegas. I'm assuming it would be Carter Hart again. Politics aside, he's definitely a goalie who makes that team a lot better, and that's been one of the bigger issues with Vegas. But yeah, Vegas is starting this 5-game road trip, and then 7 of their next are on the road. So they'll probably want to start this road trip pretty impressively, but New Jersey squeezing the stick hard after getting shut out last game. San Jose, Dallas. I don't have a play on this game officially right now. San Jose plus 215. Dallas minus 270. Dallas is starting to become maybe the second best team in hockey, or after what we saw with Colorado last night, maybe tied for the best team in hockey. Over under sitting at 6. San Jose has alternated wins and losses for 8 straight games, coming off that ugly 7-1 loss to Washington, where Frosky said that shows you that complacency can be an issue here. Ooh, Bowman 9-1 for 2 points, right? Like that line's got to be an Andy Francis special, where it's like, okay, I'll get 2 from Eichel and then 1 from Bowman and 1 from Barbashev, or like 2 from Barbashev, 2 from Bowman, 2 from Eichel, and 1 from Barbashev. That's kind of how I would, if I was watching Andy's video today, I think that would be something that you would certainly see. San Jose, first game of a 5-game road trip. So going from California here to Texas, and this road trip plays every other day for 5 straight games. Meanwhile, Dallas has 14 of a possible 16 points in their last 8 games. The PK is a perfect 19 for 19 over their last 6 games, and facing the San Jose power play that has at least 1 power play goal in 8 of their last 10 and has kind of carried this offense. So we'll see a great penalty kill versus a good San Jose power play. And a big issue with me not having anything on this, there's bodies coming back for San Jose. Jeff Skinner's going to come back. There could be some movements in the line. So not 100% sure where I want to bet this San Jose, attack the San Jose line. And yes, you can go Jamie Benn, which is probably the only side that is going to give you any value on Dallas. He's minus 105 today, but the guy's playing 13 and a half minutes right now. He's playing with Hintz and he's playing with Robertson at 5-on-5 is great. But yeah, 14 minutes last game. Like I said, Jeff Skinner probably dropping back in. San Jose did practice on their day off, so this is going to be a motivated group, but again, a young group, so tough to see how motivated Wurfowski can get this team going. And one note that Timothy Liljegren replaced John Klingberg on power play 1 last game. That might have been an issue with just the game getting blown out. But in terms of that, let me know how you like this game, where you're going to bet it. The over-under sitting at 6. Probably an Askarov-Ottinger game. Ottinger coming off the shutout. This is a tough one. Again, another game. Could finish 3-1 Dallas, or could be 6-3 Dallas. There you go. The city of Dallas is hosting the most World Cup games. Interesting. Yeah, Klingberg absolutely got trashed in the postgame talking about how he can't move the puck quick. And it's a good point from Andy Francis. Dallas has been playing some of the great defensive hockey last few, which is absolutely crazy when they're down 3 starting defensemen in Bischel, Harley, and Lundqvist. They're just, I think right now, the way they're playing hockey, I put them up there in the Colorado echelon of teams you kind of don't want to run into. And that echelon right now, the non-scam 3, is Colorado, Dallas, and Washington. Sadly, they're just playing at a different level than everybody else and winning by a lot. So that's a good game to keep an eye out. The best, as I was looking through some of the reports today, the best beat writers come from San Jose. Sheng Peng is one of the best beat writers. His stuff's awesome. It's up to date and it's always current, and the line information's always there. He's got some of the greatest nuggets. And then I think it's Amanda Stein for the Devils is also a really important one. People asked me yesterday, where do you get your line information? Yeah, Penger's is one of my favorite. And if you want to make smarter bets, you have to have a good line of information. You have to have a good line of information. And I'm not crapping on DFO, but I mean, that's a general site. There's probably just like one guy working on those lines. It's been all over the map. You check the source and it's like 3 days out and it's like it just doesn't move. So if you go on to my X account, like game days live, I think is a line combo. They're only 9,000 followers. That's the best one to follow. If you go on to my X, you go look at my list. I have an NHL lines list that you can jump on and copy and jump in there. I got a bunch of guys in there. Yeah, it's very hit or miss. And it's like you don't want to, when you're betting on line combos, like I was holding Bull Duke on Wednesday, and he's on line 4. Just awful. Yeah. So it's a really important game changer. And people always say your smartest bets are get them in early. That's almost the opposite with hockey right now. Like I'm still scared, even if I see an afternoon skate today, I'm still scared to put in all of my bets if I'm risking a lot of money on how to get all those line combos in when maybe they can change or there could be a change up to the game time. So it's a scramble at 6:45 at those 7:00 games. Speaking of line 4, you seen that Sherwood? Did Sherwood get moved down to the 4th line in Vancouver? Vancouver, we'll talk about it right now. Let me know if that's what you're talking about, Andy. Thank you very much. Utah, Vancouver. Vancouver's the worst hockey team in all of the league, I think. Utah, minus 130, not a bad price. Regulation, not a bad price, but I'm going to go team total over 3.5 plus 115. Absolute stick taps for Clayton Keller. Have a monster game the other night. And that Peterka line, another good piece of information that's not out there. Peterka's the one that's up to power play 1, and Nick Schmaltz down to power play 2. I think it's priced into most lines. Seeing Peterka on that power play point around plus 375. Yeah. Okay. So Sherwood is. I have to wait and see what's happening with Vancouver because Kane got cut last game. I believe Adam Foote said it's not a big deal, so he's probably back. Connor Garland practiced, but with a non-contact injury jersey, so he's probably not in. Right now, you got like Elias Pettersson and Letteramaki are the top line MPP1 correlated, so that's maybe something you look at. But right now, the guys I like are Peterka and Clayton Keller. Those are my two guys. Peterka's a little priced out at minus 140, but like this is a game where maybe it's like Peterka, Clayton Keller, and the Utah money line. And I don't think you can find better prices than at Bet99 for those player point money line combos, which aren't a bad way. I hit one yesterday with the Boston team. I put Elias and Geeky in that one. And if anybody was on that Arvidsson Middlestat Zaka line, just not being able to hit that Middlestat point was really difficult because it just wouldn't show up somehow. Yes, and that's a really good point, Andy, saying like, all right, here's your hockey content, but I got to tailor it to this certain point. So Andy's making videos the night before, putting them out, which is even more difficult because a lot can change. And then you're like, well, you told me to do this, but now this. You're like, it's just how things go. And the more fluid you can be, the more fluid that you can pivot to. Okay, happy to see you there in the chat. Last game, Washington, Anaheim. Like, what are you expecting here? Anaheim got absolutely waxed 7-0 to Utah. I mean, like losing 7-1 to Washington, I get it. Losing 7-0 to Utah is yuck. But Washington's ripped off 6 straight wins. They're 9-1 straight up in their last 10. Yes, Anaheim's going to show up and probably put in a better effort, but Washington's just playing at a different level. Logan Thompson is back to being the best goalie in hockey, and we had John Carlson miss the last game, so interesting point. Jacob Chikrin for a point is minus 135. That in itself is a great price. Shouldn't be minus 135, but it's tough to get bettors to go out and bet minus 135 straight up. I get it. So I'm going to go Washington money line with a Chikrin point at plus 145 in this spot. Logan Thompson has allowed 5 goals in his last 4 games. He's 4-0 straight up in that run with a .950 save percentage. And Anaheim, one of those inconsistent teams, just like we're seeing with San Jose. Like there's a lot of bad teams playing tonight that just aren't playing consistent hockey. They've alternated wins and losses in 8 straight. Lucas Dostal's out. Mrazek is out. Ville Husso was pulled last game after 2 periods. He has an .857 save percentage through 2.5 games, and I didn't even write down the number 4 goalie, who is the number 2 goalie now in that situation. Chychrun, points in 11 of his last 13 games. He's been insane for this team, and I don't think any team in hockey gets more production from their blue line than Washington. And I know it was a talking point last year. I haven't looked in because I think this year's Anaheim team is a lot different than last year's Anaheim team. Anaheim was a perfect place to pick on, to bet on opposing defensemen because they just gave it up, shots, points to opposing D-men. So Chychrun, Wilson. Okay, so that's where you get cute. Chychrun, Wilson, line 2, power play 2 correlated. That's another look. So if you're trying to get Chychrun in somewhere, I think it's Wilson, because if I'm looking at a stack in this game, because Dylan Strome struggled to find the sheet and he's overpriced, I think it's Protas and Wilson. That second line is right now the best line running and probably trusted for Washington. Yeah, we did see Colorado crap the bed finally. Yeah, we could see the Caps have a letdown game. Yeah, I just don't know if it's going to be a Logan Thompson start. Could be. He just scares me. There was a lot of changing within the Anaheim lines last game. I forget which one it was. I think they moved Seneca up to the big boy line with Carlson and Gauthier. I could be wrong, but you'll certainly have to wait. And then, so there you go. Ryan Leonard, 6 points in his last 4, getting Weasley power play 1 points. The guy's playing like 12 and a half minutes. I don't care. Like, I'm not paying that tax on Ryan Leonard. I'm not paying that tax much on Jamie Benn for guys playing 13, 14, 15 minutes and just kind of greasy. So I think Leonard's scooted his way to even money. I think a Leonard point at that time on ice should be around plus 120. So we're just seeing the market move just because he's scoring. If he finds his way up somewhere, not on a line with who's trying to think off the top of my head, who's on his line? Oh, the scam, the true scam man, Connor McMichael. Yes, if he gets off that line and plays somewhere else, then yes, he's absolutely worth even money for a point, especially at 16 to 17 range. I got no love for him right now. Love to see the rookie do stuff, but I need plus 120. Yeah, it's okay. I think that's where his fair price should be. Plus 120, plus 125. But coming off a 4-point game, the lines are obviously going to move. So I wouldn't be buying into that tax into that late game tonight. What I need going forward right now, I need Anaheim, I need San Jose, I need Chicago to keep winning. I need Bedard, I need Macklin Celebrini to keep pointing for all my future stuff. Love it. Love to see it. I need the Minnesota Wild to turn to Jesper Wallstedt and say, okay, you're getting 2 or 3 going forward right now, and we're riding you until the wheels come off. I need Vezina. I need Calder. I think there's a big Schaefer letdown coming in later. The guy's playing 25 minutes. It's tough. And we're starting to see guys like Leonard creep back up. Seneca's still tied with Demidov for points. I think if you can get the field versus Schaefer at like plus 150 or better, I think that's a great look as well. I think there's a lot more room. And with rookies, there's even more variance in how you play and how you keep that play going over an 82 game stretch. And there's going to be a big Olympic break. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be different. My future Celebrini versus Bedard, more total points is, oh my goodness, that's a crazy one. Celebrini versus Bedard. That's awesome. Leonard is with Dowd and Frank on line 3. McMichael bumped to line 2 with Wilson and Protas last game. All right. See, that's the fluidity of in-game line changes. So we'll have to see how the lines go today, but let's leave it at that. I'll be probably pretty much incognito today as I do some family stuff. I'll keep you updated, but we'll see how that goes. And I think there's somewhere for like a 5-game double stack each of these spots. And I think off the top of my head, I have something already kind of in there for the Debbie birthday parlay I'm going to call today. If I can just bring that up on my own here, if I didn't get logged out. Oh, getting logged out is maybe my favorite thing about sports betting. Let's go Bet99. My care. All right. So my idea here is Protos and Wilson, Hintz and Ben, Barbashev and Bowman, Keller, Paterka, Norris, Thompson. How much is that? 150 to 1. That's a good Friday bet. Those are the best. Those are my favorite 2-line stacks going out. And let's try to win some money for the weekend. I appreciate you guys as always. Doing it by myself is one of my favorite things because I just get to sit there and chat with you. No shade on Carlo, but I get to dig into what you guys are saying this whole time and makes my day. Producer Mick, I appreciate you as well. Friday in the books. Let's win some money. 5-game slate, an absolute beauty one. You don't get better time slot than this. Josh Inglis, Puck Props, Bet99. Head over there if you haven't. Use that log code covers NHL. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you back here Wednesday, 10 a.m. Have a great weekend, guys.
Scatman. Yo,